MarkRogersTV, the voice of college football. I tell people this all the time, especially people that aren't into college football, that say to me after the national championship game, what are you going to talk about now? And I say, you don't understand. The offseason in some ways is actually busier than in season when you're just talking games. There is plenty to talk about. And with this transfer portal up and humming and running for these quarterbacks flying all over the country, boy, we've got a lot to talk about. And we focus, of course, on Miami with Cam Underwood from State of the U. Cam, how you doing tonight?
Man, I feel good. I feel strong. I got, some. Yeah, I mean, life is good. It's a Wednesday night, over halfway through the work week. I have some nice Underwood wine from Underwood Brewery up in Oregon, which is a real thing. And it's very good. So they're not paying me for it, but, hey, support the family brand, kind of thing. But I'm ready.
Underwood wine. I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, no, they have a variety of stuff. But anyway, here to talk some football, and there's lots to talk about, like Mark is saying, in this offseason for Miami, because Manny Diaz plays 0 games, and I love it.
So I'm going to take your quote from just before we started to record that this is what a Miami quarterback room is supposed to look like. Jarren Williams, N'Kosi Perry, voila, Tate Martell from Ohio State.
Yeah. So, Tate Martell is a former 5-star recruit, the class of 2017. He was 43-0 in high school at Bishop Gorman High School. They won like 2 or 3 mythical national championships, accumulated almost 10,000 total yards of offense, threw for like just short of 8,000, ran for over 2,000. Yeah, I mean, like, he was that dude. I mean, he's 5'11", 210 pounds. He's kind of in that Johnny Manziel, undersized, but runs around kind of, like if you want to compare him to Johnny Manziel, Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, any of your like less than 6 feet kind of shifty quarterbacks, but he's thick. Is at 2,010 pounds. You'd say not 2010, 210 pounds, 2,010 pounds. That would be a record. But yeah, so I mean, he's a athletic kid. And everything. Went to Ohio State, was the #1 dual threat quarterback, top 40-ish player in the 2017 recruiting class. Announced late last night that actually it was this morning. It was right at midnight, I want to say, Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, that he announced he's coming to Miami as a transfer, and he's going to seek an immediate play waiver to be able to do that. And this would be the less advantageous thing for him, because obviously getting to Miami's campus and being integrated to spring practice and things like that would be good for him. But there was reports that Tate Martell was on pace to graduate in May from Ohio State. If you take your AP classes and pass them and things like that, you can come into college with credits already. So, that's how you can graduate in a couple of years. Being a redshirt freshman, that means he enrolled early. So he had a January term, summer term, fall, spring, summer, last fall. So you're already 6 semesters in, and this would be 7. So, even if you go for, 4 years and you're talking about, okay, well, whatever, I just go for 8 semesters. Tate Martell is coming into his 7th semester in college, technically, because, when you're at school, you for the summers usually take classes as an athlete, I should say. So that could be a way that he could get an immediate play waiver. But again, he's trying to get to Miami right now for the spring to work with Dan Enos and, the Miami Hurricanes, so he can, step into a starting job. But yeah, that's the new addition. And, he just adds to the talent in the quarterback room. Now, Miami did miss out on Jalen Hurts because Jalen Hurts wants to be like everybody else, Baker Mayfield and Kyler Murray, and he's going to the University of Oklahoma for his grad transfer, 4th year of playing and things like that. So, yeah, Miami has added Tate Martell to N'Kosi Perry, who was a 4-star recruit, record-breaking player in his own right in high school. Jarren Williams, also a 4-star recruit, record-breaking player the Adidas All-American game. Used to be the U.S. Army All-American game. Same thing, just they dropped the U.S. Army sponsorship. But he was in that game. And then you have Cade Weldon, son of an NFL player, former Heisman Trophy runner-up, Casey Weldon at Florida State. So now you start to have, 2 4-stars, a 5-star, and a pretty decent, caliber 3-star. This is what a Miami Hurricanes quarterback room should look like. And hopefully going away from this restrictive pro style into a hybrid spread, thing, pace and space. It might not even be that fast, but, really just kind of getting out from under center, Miami wasn't really going under center that much, except for an I formation to run fullback dive. But you get what I'm saying. You're changing the scheme up a little bit. So, you should be able to play to the skills of a Tate Martell who can run and throw, a N'Kosi Perry who can run and throw, a Jarren Williams who is very good and a very accurate passer. And, maybe you just have that version of the spread where you have a less mobile quarterback who can get the ball out there. But now you have options. You have realistic options. Now, I know that there is not really a proven player right now. And I know people are going to say that. But N'Kosi Perry flashed. He obviously came back in the Florida State game, threw 4 touchdowns in that and 0 interceptions. Tate Martell, I just retweeted a thing from Big Ten Network. He had a game where he went 10 for 10, threw for a touchdown, ran for a touchdown, things like that last year against Rutgers. So there is talent there. And hopefully with the scheme that fits that talent and top-level coaching from Dan Enos, then you can make that come alive. But, yeah, this is a big step forward because obviously Miami's quarterback position was among the worst in college football last year. I saw a stat that the only position or only school that had worse play from their quarterback statistically last year was Rutgers, the team that Tate Martell beat in that game I just talked about. And that was with the former Miami commit Archer Sikowski rotating with some other guys, and they're just substandard. But when you're talking about Miami and Rutgers in any kind of comparison, especially at the bottom of the entire list of quarterback play, that's pretty poor. So adding a Tate Martell, changing up the scheme, getting Dan Enos, that should be a good thing. Hopefully, Miami's able to pull in maybe a John Reese Plumlee in this recruiting class, a four-star, because he'd probably be a 3-star in a normal recruiting year because quarterback is quite atrocious in this recruiting class. But anyway, he could be a guy that you could add in to the recruiting or to the quarterback room as well. But yeah, adding in Tate Martell is a big get for Miami. Hopefully he's able to play right away in 2019. If he is, then I would think that going into this quarterback competition, he would be the odds-on favorite. But again, let the in the music world we call it tree shaking. You just kind of go and you shake the tree, and whatever falls to the bottom falls, but whatever stays to the top stays to the top. And, you call it that, let the cream rise, whatever it is, but throw all of them out there, give everybody a fair shot and let them work it out. And if it ends up being Cade Weldon is the best guy and he ends up, being the quarterback and winning us games, cool. Like I'm not attached to any name, but being attached to quality players and players with talent and potential is a good thing for me. So yeah, adding Tate Martell is a big step for Miami, and I'm really excited to get him on campus and see what he can do.
Cam Underwood, State of the U, joins us on a regular basis to talk Miami football. A lot going on, and the quarterback situation will turn out, I believe, to be, if Martell is eligible, to be the most intriguing quarterback battle in the nation. I can't imagine another one because in all the other moves that have been made, Jalen Hurts to Oklahoma, he's the overwhelming favorite to win the job. Justin Fields to Ohio State, now that Martell is no longer there. Obviously, he would have to have a complete collapse not to win that job. Mm-hmm. There is an expected starter that's moving in from somewhere else. This is adding another, as you mentioned off the top, a guy that's unproven, has not played meaningful minutes. When he's come in, done the job. You mentioned the Rutgers game in particular, but Ohio State won that game, whatever it was, 56-7.
Right.
So you've got 3 guys that are extremely capable. Of course, N'Kosi Perry played about half the season last year, so he's got the most minutes, but you've got 3 guys that are relatively inexperienced battling for the same job.
Yeah, I mean, again, you're not going to rely on experience. You're not going to rely on maturity. Shout out to Mark Richt and Malik Rozier. You're going to rely on the guy who's going to go out there and do the job. And obviously through practice, through film study, through, off-season, 7-on-7 drills that, are player-led and, fall camp and things like that. You're going to have to find that guy. And, whoever it is, I'm with it. People are talking about, oh, well, Tate Martell, he's so talented, but he's brash and braggadocious. Have you met me? Have you seen the fact that, I wanted Lane Kiffin to be Miami's coach, and then I started the hashtag Let's Be Jerks then? And you're going to talk about a kid who's, has bravado and, openly, is like a jerk on the field? I'm okay. Fine, let's be jerks. I don't need to be loved. I just want to go win. And if that is Tate Martell and that palpable personality, if that is N'Kosi Perry and his understated kind of introverted kind of thing, if it's Jarren Williams, who for all intents and purposes is pretty much kind of the neutral cyborg out of he's the Terminator of this group. He's not necessarily as braggadocious as Martell, and he's not as quiet as Perry. He just goes out and puts the ball on the money. Any of them, it could be even Cade Weldon, who wants to, have that linebacker mentality. He's like, dude, I'm 6'2", 230. I'm going to run over you. I'm not going to slide when I see Trajan Bandy or a cornerback on the outside. I'm going to lower his shoulder and put it in your chest. Any of those guys is fine for me, as long as they're able to do the job. And at Miami, the last couple of years, we've not had guys, namely Malik Rozier, who are of Miami caliber to do the job. And then you go through this roundabout crap last year where you're really trying to fit N'Kosi Perry into this system and into this box that didn't utilize his talents well or things like that. I'm not here for that. So yeah, you're not going to rely on name. You're not going to rely on prior performance, and you're not going to, rely on maturity or, game experience. You're going to have somebody who goes out there and earns it, and you're going to have to trust them to move forward. So you're going to have potential and projection in the quarterback battle. But yeah, I think that, pending Tate Martell being eligible this year, yeah, this is one of the most intriguing and engaging quarterback battles in America, because again, college football is better when Miami is good. And if Miami has a good quarterback, Miami's going to be good.
Did I catch this right, Cam, that a Miami fan was criticizing Tate Martell's braggadocious ways? We're talking about Miami. This is the brand.
Hello.
This is the brand.
Do you not know who we are? That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I've had many a guy, and maybe it is the version or the portion of the fan base that really was connected with Mark Richt and everything. And I'm a God-fearing Christian. I'm not going to, demean him for Mark Richt for his, pious nature.
Absolutely.
Because I'm not going to do that, because I share a common faith with him. But it was just kind of that very conservative. I don't want to ruffle the boat. We're just kind of float by, and I don't want to step on anybody's toes or rub anybody the wrong way. We're Miami. Everybody loves to hate us. People don't watch our games to watch us win. They watch the games to hopefully see us lose if we're good. You know what I mean? That's who we are. We've been the bad boys. We've been the rebels, the outcasts. Miami is not a prestige program because of starting playing in 1843 like the University of Michigan and continuing to this day, starting in 1847 like Notre Dame and continuing to play to this day. Miami came in the 80s and kicked the door down of the establishment of college football. People don't like us. And that's cool. I've embraced that. So yeah, if you have a brash guy, dude, you got Cocaine Cowboys is a documentary by Billy Corbin about the cocaine trade here in South Florida. You talk about all these just the loud colors, and you can see South Beach with all the hotels and the neon lights, the gold chains, and that's who Miami should be. And yeah, I'm not here for people trying to just kind of fit in and be liked. I'm here to win games. And if it comes with, a choir boy, and I am one, obviously, having been a choir director for years, which I'm not even going to get on that.
That's funny. I never put those two things together.
Oh yeah. But if you want to get this a kind of introverted, quiet choir boy like a Ken Dorsey, who would never go out there and ruffle anybody's feathers because he's very soft-spoken from San Francisco and blah, blah, cool. Or you can go out there with a Tate Martell who's going to jump over you and spike the ball in your face or whatever. That's perfectly fine. But again, as long as I get somebody who can do the job, and obviously Miami's looking for that, that's the thing that's really going to tell the story of this season. So hopefully one of these guys steps up, and develops and moves forward so that Miami can really get back onto a national stage for winning games.
I got to say, based on what I've seen out of Malik Rozier, and I'll go beyond the 3-game losing streak to end 2017, even before that, because we talked about it week to week. Wow, that was a high wire act, etc. With the amount of athleticism and playmaking ability on the outside, the numbers that he put up, if I remember correctly, about 3,400 yards, 26 touchdowns in 2017. A lot of that was, obviously, it was the playmaking ability of the Thomases and Berrios and Richards and all those guys getting the job done on the outside. If out of this 3-man quarterback room, again, assuming that Martell's eligible, that the best man isn't tons better than Rocher, I will be astonished if that's not the case.
Yeah, just because, I mean, I don't want to tap dance on his metaphorical football career grave or anything, but Malik Rozier wasn't that good. So, yeah, Miami should be taking a big step forward, regardless of who it is. Three out of the 3, 4, even if there's another transfer recruit, I don't care. But yeah, Miami should be finding increased performance at the quarterback position, and hopefully paying the dividends from that.